For my discussion 4, I will be discussing neuromuscular junction. Before we get started, let's become familiar with neuromuscular junction and its components. Motor neurons. In order for muscles to contract, they must first be stimulated through a special nerve called the motor neuron. Notice the picture next to my description, motor neuron, and how it attaches to muscle fibers. Motor neurons release the chemical signal called neurotransmitters. This specific neurotransmitters are inside the sacs of the synaptic vesicles, containing ACH. ACH is a specific neurotransmitter. Synaptic knob is the large channel the messages or neurotransmitters cross. The synapse is at the end of the knob. This is where the neurons communicate with the cells. Please notice I have an example of ACH. Below is an example of synaptic knob. Synaptic knob is the large green knob-like object. The synaptic cleft is the physical space between the synaptic knob and muscle, which contain enzyme ACHE, which breaks down neurotransmitter ACH. Across the synaptic cleft is the membrane called sarcoma. Sarcoma has receptors for neurotransmitter ACH. A motor unit is the motor neuron and all the muscle cells or muscle fibers that receive the signals/stimulation. Please take a moment to review the pictures I have provided. Sarcoma is the thin membrane. Synaptic cleft is below the synaptic knob. Neuromuscular junction is the communication between the motor units. Motor neuron. Muscle cells must be stimulated in order to contract. Skeletal muscles receive signals from special nerves called motor neurons. These signals are communicators to muscles to contract. At the end of the motor neurons are the branches that touch and signal a muscle or muscles at once. Muscle units are the motor nerves and all the cells in communication with the stimulant signal. Within the muscle, the motor units are all or nothing responses. This means they are either completely active or completely resting. The more or less work you'll need to incorporate more or less motor neurons. Above is a picture of the motor neuron. Please recognize the branches touching this particular muscle fiber. Neurons release neurotransmitters, which are the messengers. They are released into a large channel called the synaptic knob. They carry specific codes to the cells they are targeting at the synapse. The neurotransmitters are located in the synaptic vesicles. They diffuse to the synapse, where the communication takes place. Please notice the synaptic knob, synaptic vesicles, releasing neurotransmitters, ACH, into the synapse, where it will then communicate with muscle fibers or cells. The synaptic cleft is the space between the synaptic knob and the cell muscle. This also contains an enzyme, ACH, to break down neurotransmitter, ACH. In between the synaptic knob and synaptic cleft lies the muscle membrane. Like muscle fibers, organelles, they have specific names. The name for this muscle cell membrane is sarcoma. Sarcoma contains receptors to latch on to neurotransmitters ACH. Again, sarcoma is a cell membrane. Please notice the fold. Synaptic cleft is the red highlighted part of the left picture. Neuromuscular junction, where there is communication between the motor units at specific synapses. There are separate neuromuscular junctions for each cell, but motor neurons can communicate with a muscle or multiple muscles at once. Motor unit, composed of the motor neuron and muscle fibers, or cells receiving the stimulant or signal. Please notice above is neuromuscular junction, containing all the components to communicate with each other. That concludes muscular junction. Thank you so much for watching.